Welcome back to another episode of the Digital Wrap-Up. My name is Riley and I'm the host and I'm the CEO and Digital Director here at Hardin Digital and Design. Today we're going to be talking about online stores and how to set one up for your business, for your podcast, for your stream, whatever it is that you want to create merch for and sell it online. I'm going to walk you through the process of how to set that up and automate the process so that you're just driving traffic to your store, but then you don't have to handle any of the fulfillment or any things like that. But before I get into the process and how to go about that, I want to mention that we here at Hardin Digital and Design recently launched our own online store too. So we're selling some Hardin Digital merch, stickers, mouse pads, t-shirts, hoodies, all these different types of merchandise for our business specifically, but then we also launched a limited Love Tipton series as well. So we're based out of downtown Tipton, Indiana, and we found that there's not a whole lot of Tipton swag and merch available that's kind of just pre-made already, where you just have to select your size and whatever colors that you want without presenting, a print shop with your own custom design or anything like that. So when we launched the store, that was kind of our big series launch, was the Love Tipton series, and hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, all that is available now at hardindigital.shop. So you can check out if you want to support the business. Here at Hardin Digital and Design, we would love your support there. We have some nice pint glasses, some coffee mugs, all of that that you might use on a daily basis. Check it out. Again, that's hardindigital.shop. And be happy for your support. And if you live in Tipton, definitely check out all the Tipton gear as well. We're going to be doing some more releases frequently. We have some things planned and lined up as well. The possibilities are endless on what we want to do. It's a simple process once you get the online store set up and running. But that's kind of what we're going to talk about today on the podcast as well. So I know creating an online store, selling merchandise, it's kind of the in thing right now, I think, with so many people starting businesses or starting side gigs. They want to be able to make some recurring revenue, not necessarily recurring, but additional revenue by selling merchandise, but they don't want to personally print or mail out every single piece of merchandise that's sold, which is definitely the case with us. So to give you some background into why, or the thought process of why we started our online store is, again, it was kind of, how can we generate some more money for the business and set up a process that's not super hands-on and service-based. So, most of the products and services that we provide here at Hardin Digital Design are service-based, so that, we're actually having to do work to make the money. There's not a lot of automation. We're creating the content for our clients, and that takes time. We're building websites, and that takes time. There's not any just one-off things, or there wasn't any just like one-off things that people could buy from us where it doesn't take us any time to do. Everything was service-based that we actually had to spend time on doing to generate revenue. So we've been floating around ideas, and I think the big one that kind of stuck first was creating stickers, because I love stickers. If you could see my laptop right now, the top of it is covered in stickers. My previous laptops have all been covered in stickers. So I kind of just collect stickers wherever I go. If it looks cool, if it's a really cool place, like up in Grand Marais, Minnesota, which I used to go to every year, but try to frequent there a lot. I love a bunch of their stickers. Just was down in Florida earlier this year, and there's a Gator Shack that we went to, and a kind of an eco tour, and bought some stickers from there. So I kind of use stickers as a way to commemorate things that I've done, experiences I've had, or just stickers that look cool and I see that I run into a lot of times. So stickers was our first idea of what we could sell that I think we could reach a bunch of different markets on. I the sticker market is big. Not everybody, but there are a lot of people like me that do collect stickers and put them on their cars, their bumpers, their garage fridges, their computers, their phones, whatever it may be. I think that was kind of our first niche that we wanted to get into with stickers. And then, being in Tipton, like I kind of already referenced, we didn't find there's a couple other businesses and print shops in town that do print merchandise, t-shirts, these types of things, but you kind of have to take your own design to them. So if you don't have somebody to design that for you, then you kind of don't have an option, I guess. There's not a lot of pre-made stuff. So what we did is Kaylee created this whole Love Tipton series, and I think there's 5 different designs in that design. Then we placed it on coffee mugs, stickers like I've been raving about, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mouse pads, and phone cases. So there's a lot of different options there that you can kind of play with. And, once you have that one design done, you can kind of place it on a bunch of different actual products. So kind of the base of what we wanted to do was to obviously create more revenue for the business. So we started looking into what different services are there that kind of can create merchandise for you. And then the other big aspect for us was that we didn't want to have to fulfill all of the product orders. We didn't want to have to, one, mass produce anything, like order 100 t-shirts and hope that we sell them, because there's a lot of upfront costs there, and we have no idea how well the products would sell. So if we bought 100 t-shirts and only sold 20 of them, then we're stuck with that cost of the 80 t-shirts that we just bought. So we wanted kind of a print on demand system, which is what we use now, where nothing is produced until it's purchased on our store, and then they fill the entire fulfillment, or fill the fulfillment. That's great. They fulfill the entire order for us. They don't make it until it's ordered, and then they handle all the shipping for us. So it's really an automated process once you get the designs and the products set up, and that's kind of what we were looking for. So what exactly do we use or what system or software do we use for that print on demand? There's a bunch of them out there. There's pros and cons to each one. So, I'm going to tell you what we did here at Hardin Digital and Design, but by no means is this the best one. I think it's has a ton of great reviews, and it's very simple, but research what works best for you. This one was highly researched and highly recommended across the board, so you might find out that this is the one that you want to use as well. But we use Printful, so it's printful.com. And if you're watching on the YouTube, I will pull up what Printful looks like here. So it basically just this is the back-end system of our store, and you can click View Store here. Sorry, not great podcasting, but definitely go check out the YouTube video, youtube.com/@HardinDigital. If you haven't subscribed there, you can watch this, and especially if you're really wanting to learn how to set up an online store for yourself, go check it out there. But basically, the Printful store allows you to take those designs that you have, like Kaylee designed all these Love Tipton designs here. Let me pull one up, and this is the courthouse picture. So as you can see, it's on a mouse pad here, but a picture of the historic downtown Tipton courthouse. This is just one item there, but basically what I wanted to show you is that you can create an online store here. So this is our Hardin Digital store, and we'll talk about a storefront here in a little bit, because this isn't the full process. This is just to create the products and have that fulfillment of the products on the back end. But again, this is another one of the designs. It is there, outline or filled in state with the word tipped in going across it. This is probably one of my favorite designs. But Printful, it allows you to basically take that one design or however many designs and pick what you place that design on. So there's men's clothing, t-shirts, polos, tank tops, jackets, hoodies, swimwear even. Same thing for all the women's skirts, shorts, pants, all this type of stuff. So tops and bottom and clothing, even for kids, hats. Like there's so many different options here. And, I've never actually gotten into the hats, but yeah, there's just, I haven't even scrolled through all of them, honestly, but, accessories, phone cases, like I was saying, the mouse pad that I showed you, home and living stickers is where, that's the big one for us. So there's so many different options here on Printful that it's just easy, and you go in, flags, holiday decor, blankets, like you just have that person design whatever it is, or take a logo that you already have designed and you come in here and upload it. You select the different sizes or the different colors and you preview what it looks like with the print on there. It's just a really intuitive and quick process to get the product actually quote unquote created online. So then what you do from here is you have all of your products selected in a store. So then if I go to my stores, you can click view store and you sync it. And so I've been talking about Printful, which is the product placement and fulfillment, but the actual online store. So if you're to go to hardendigital.shop here, this is again on YouTube, what our shop looks like. This online storefront is not through Printful itself. It is through Shopify. So Shopify by far is, the easiest to set up, easiest to run, easiest to maintain e-commerce store, in my opinion. There's so much you can do with it in terms of e-commerce, and it just simplifies the process tremendously. So you have the Printful side of things, which creates it, and then you go into create a Shopify store or Shopify website, which will then be your public-facing storefront. And the great thing about Printful is that once you create all these products in Printful, you can have them pushed to your Shopify store, which then you can have the actual website and sell things online that way. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach there. Printful integrates into Shopify, and that whole process of setting up the integration between Printful and Shopify is super easy. I don't want to get into the step-by-step process. There's blogs that have that it's I'll put it in the blog post that I do with each episode, but it's a very simple and intuitive process to set up Printful, set up Shopify, and then link the two together. So talking about Shopify specifically, let me go in here. Online store. So we haven't sold a whole lot yet, but we just launched it, and trying to pull up the store. So if you're watching, you can see the products. This is all the love tipped and stuff right now. So all these designs, you can put them on a bunch of different things. I really like that phone case. I really like this courthouse that Kaylee designed there as well. But so this is the public facing side of it. But on the back end, if the website would load, very easy to sync and set everything up as well. I said Printful is super easy. Shopify is just as easy as well, and you can come in here and customize the website. The only downside to Shopify, a Shopify website in comparison to like WordPress, Wix even, there's not as much customization to the overall design of the website. It's such a powerful e-commerce site, but it's not as powerful and creative or There's just not as much, if you take a look at this and then go take a look at our actual hardendigital.com website, there's just not as much customization that you can do on the Shopify side of things, but you're not really using it for that. You're using it strictly to sell products. You do want to add some info. We're going to add an about page, I think, that links back to, the Harden Digital actual website. But so that's just one thing to keep in mind there. But I do want to talk about Printful again. And I guess to wrap up with Shopify, there's once you integrate the two, you have both set up and you combine them. Your Printful shop is now pushing products to Shopify, and you place those products on your website on Shopify. You can either create a custom domain, buy another domain, and connect it to your Shopify store. So like that's what we did with hardendigital.shop. That's a custom domain, and then you just link it to Shopify, which is again very simple to do. Or you can use the free, and it's like myshopify.hardendigital.com, and just like Wix or something. If you're creating a free website there, it has the Shopify branding. But for $10 to $20 a month, or $10 to $20 a year, if you're going to go through the process of creating an online store, I think just buy a new domain if it makes sense. hardendigital.shop made sense to us because it's just a difference of .com to .shop, and boom, you're right there. So easy branding for us. If it makes sense to you, spend the extra $10 to $20. But back to Printful, there's the Shopify. Printful also links to a bunch of different e-commerce stores. It connects with WooCommerce as well. I will caution that I had some issues with that integration between Printful and the WooCommerce plugin, so that's why I ended up going with Shopify instead. But definitely explore it if, like my big thing was, hey, I wanted to really keep the shop on our native website, hardendigital.com, because it has that option to put WooCommerce into our WordPress website, and then we just drive all traffic to hardendigital.com/shop. And then while they're on our shop, they also see all of our other branding and all of our services and all of that type of stuff. But it just didn't work out for us. Like I said, I had some issues, and with that integration between Printful and WooCommerce, and I didn't want to really mess with it beyond that. I'm impatient, and I like to just do things now on the fly, and I was trying to launch it, and it was just giving me too much trouble, so I said, screw it, we're going with Shopify, and that's what we ran with. But again, I'll take you back to the screen share here, and while it's not hosted on our actual hardendigital.com website, I did add a tab at the top that goes to the shop. So then boom, right here, we are at our Shopify store again. So not the perfect setup, not exactly what I wanted, but it works for me. I'm happy with it, especially because we got that specific hardendigital.shop branding. So if this is something you're considering, it's a great way to great easy way to set up an online store using Printful and Shopify. Very easy process, but the one thing that's like harder to, if you're wanting to just kind of sell, it depends on like what you're wanting to sell. So like us, we're selling stickers, and we have this specific Love Tipton thing, and we're going to have some other very specific niches that we're going to be creating products for and selling. For us, it makes sense to kind of do on a Shopify store. You can also do Printful to Amazon as well. And that's, a little more complicated of a process. But what you get with Amazon is you have that full search engine behind you of people searching for products, So if we were going to put some of our digital marketing stickers or podcast stickers that we might develop or something like that. Anybody who's looking for stickers and podcasting or podcast stickers on Amazon, it has that search engine capabilities there, which can be very powerful for driving organic growth. With the Shopify store like what we have, it's not really backed by a powerful search engine like Amazon. So we basically have to drive all of our traffic to it organically ourselves or run ads. We ran some Facebook ads and different things like that, trying it out. So with Shopify, you have to be driving that traffic yourself, which can be difficult for people. It's definitely hard getting website clicks in general, and trying to get people to buy stuff on your store is complicated without just running and spending money on ads. But that's the big difference there. A lot more steps to becoming a seller on Amazon. They have their own merch program as well, but you're pretty limited on what you can sell. Like we couldn't make stickers through Amazon merch's process, so that would be, I found out about that afterwards, so you can do Printful to Amazon and run your own shop and do that connection to Amazon. But then there's also that separate Amazon merch program, but you're limited on what products you can actually sell there. So pros and cons to it: a lot more involvement and work up front to become an Amazon seller. But if you're willing to go through that, then the benefits work out in the long run because you have that more powerful search engine behind you. But to kind of combat the lack of search engine capability behind the Shopify store, Shopify makes it very, very easy to integrate to your Facebook and Instagram stores as well. So, you have Printful, then you have Shopify, and now you can sell directly on Instagram and Facebook as well, which I think is a huge key to driving more traffic and getting more sales. Is people are buying directly on Facebook and Instagram. Since Meta introduced shops, I don't even know how many years ago, it's obviously been working out and people are buying there. So Shopify allows you to easily just integrate. Every time you add a new product, just make sure you click to add it to your Facebook and Instagram store as well. And then once you set up that integration, which again is super easy in the back end of Shopify, then it just automatically pushes to your online store or your Meta store as well. So then it pushes to Facebook and Instagram. And then the great thing about that is you could, say this was, I had a Hardened Digital coffee mug in my hand, which there's a coffee mug in it, but it's World's Best Boss. Shout out to The Office. Say I took a picture, which I actually recently did, took a picture with a Hardened Digital coffee mug and, created an interesting caption for it. And, it's just a selfie of me holding the coffee mug, but it has the product in it. You can tag specifically that product, just like you're going to tag an account or tag a different user in Instagram or Facebook. You can tag that product. People can click on it. It goes directly to your shop in the app still, so it doesn't take you to your web browser or anything like that. And then you can buy it directly there on Instagram if you have your account set up to purchase stuff. So it makes it super easy. You can get creative with it. You can just post the image of, the stock image that's on your Shopify site. You can post those overlays as well, or you can get creative. And if you have the product in hand, you can take real world pictures of it too and be tagging it, and other people can tag it. Your friend or family member buys a coffee mug or a pint glass or something like that, and they take a picture of it and tag the product and tag you in it, then people who follow them and see it can directly click on the product link there too and buy it on their Facebook or Instagram. So, that's just one way that you can kind of start driving more traffic to your online store without having that powerful search engine behind it, which again, Printful to Shopify, Shopify to Meta, Facebook/Instagram. It's just a very simple process. It takes time. When I say simple, I don't necessarily mean you can do it all within an hour, especially if you're adding a bunch of products, but it's something that you can literally read one blog post or one help article and walk you through the entire process, or just simply log in, create an account, and it'll walk you through the process from start to finish there as well. And that's exactly what I did when we started hardendigital.shop. It's just very easy to do. It's time consuming just like any other project, but it's a kind of, besides the marketing and pushing and trying to get people to your website or to your online store, it's a set it and forget it type of thing where you upload the products in Printful. It automatically pushes to Shopify. It automatically then pushes to Facebook and Instagram. And within a matter of 20 minutes, the new product that you created or the new design that you had sent over to you, you could push it to 3 different products, and it could be pushed to your online store and your online store on Facebook and Instagram as well, just by uploading a new product in Printful there. So that's kind of a very broad overview of how to create an online shop, just based on my experiences. And I've used Shopify with another one of our clients here in town too. I set up their online store, and it's a little different for them. They're not using Printful because they have an actual physical brick and mortar store where they can take product photos and they just upload it directly into Shopify, and then they kind of handle the shipping on their own, but it's the same type of process. It's pushed to their online store, and then it can be pushed to Facebook and Instagram as well. And, it's a little different because it's not print on demand like we're doing, but they ship it and they do it all based on the inventory that they have there. So especially if you're looking into the print on demand thing like what we're doing, and you don't want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars bulk ordering stuff that you have no idea if it'll actually sell or not, print on demand is the way to go, through Printful or another service like that. Not sponsored by Printful or Shopify, but just wanted to give you honest feedback on how we did it and what worked best for us there. So again, I think that's kind of a high level overview. If you have questions, if you're wanting to set up an online shop, feel free to reach out. Send me an email, riley@hardendigital.com, and I'd be happy to walk you through the process. If you want to do that, I'd be happy to set it up for you if that makes more sense for you and you don't have the time or you're not as tech savvy, whatever it may be happy to help. Again, my email is riley@hardendigital.com, or you can find me on social media @RileyHarden. Send me a DM, be happy to chat and go from there. But that's kind of the process, and just something on my mind, something that we're going to continue to be adding products to. Just sitting here now talking about the shop, I've a couple of different product designs in mind that I'm going to go call Kaylee here and bug her about. She's the creative genius, and that comes with a downfall of trying to create my ideas that I come up with on the fly like this sometimes. But thankful for her. She does a great job, and she's always able to conceptualize what I have in mind and put it down on paper, or in this case on screen. And so she's awesome there. But before I take off, again, just check out our online shop, hardendigital.shop, for some Harden Digital swag. If you live in Tipton, the Love Tipton series is there, and we'll be looking to add more designs here over the summer, and just as we get more creative and see what hits and what doesn't hit. So I think that'll do it for today's episode. If you have any questions, hit me up. And stay tuned next week. I think I already have a topic idea for next week's podcast, which, after a little lapse in a few weeks, I'm back on the podcast game and happy to be here chatting with you. And hopefully we'll get Hannah or Kaylee on again in an upcoming episode. So it's not just me. You don't have to sit here and listen to me or look at me only. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week's episode of the Digital Wrap Up. Until next time, stay safe and happy creating.